Welcome to the Orgasmic Enlightenment Podcast, where the sexual and spiritual come together. I'm Kim Anami, and you are listening to the audio version of one of my bi-weekly YouTube videos. You can listen to it here or head over to my YouTube channel to watch the original with all of the sensual and sublime visuals. Kim's Health Hacks. People often ask me, how do you keep yourself so healthy? How do you have so much energy? How do you have such an amazing body when you're 47? What do you eat? What are your secrets? My number one secret isn't really a secret because I talk about it constantly. Sex. Lots of gourmet sex. Sexual energy equals life force energy, and sex is the fountain of youth. In addition to having lots of really good sex, I also do several other things to take care of myself. I am very serious about self-care, and to me this is non-negotiable. It's the highest priority of my day rather than the lowest. Everything else comes after that. So if you want to feel significantly better, like not just 10% better, but 150% better, these are my top health hacks. I'll also note that in this day and age of biohacking machines and technology, I'm all about natural remedies, things natural as in found in nature and free. And I do think that there's a time and a place for machines because we're living in an especially toxic world right now, and sometimes you do need to pull out the big guns to help you rebalance and detox. However, I most love hearing stories about how people healed themselves through nature or through their diet changes or by getting truly honest with themselves. To me, this is the most inspiring kind of healing and optimizing, and we can all do it. First up, sunshine, vitamin D, the other vitamin D, ha ha ha. I harvest vitamin D every single day when I'm in summer or a tropical or subtropical climate. People have used sunshine as a healing modality throughout history. There actually used to be sunshine clinics in Switzerland where the patients were laid out in the sun to help part of their healing process. And we know now that not getting enough vitamin D actually causes cancer, as opposed to what other people were mistakenly thinking is that the sun gives you cancer. Burning gives you cancer. Tanning builds up vitamin D production, which protects you from cancer. Earthing and forest exposure. Clean air, oxygen. Again, now you can pay money to go and sit in a chamber and breathe oxygen. This is hyperbaric oxygen therapy, and it's used for all kinds of things from autoimmune conditions to stroke and other neurological issues, and it has very profound results, and fighting infections. And so now you can actually go drive out, go to Tasmania, breathe the cleanest air on the planet. We used to have a lot more oxygen in our air, and so that was a possibility to remedy yourself that way. And I've still heard stories of people who go out into the forest or out away from the city into a very clean environment, and they upgrade their healing potential. And the whole thing of forest bathing in Japan, so this is something called Shinrin Yoku, that's forest bathing, the idea of going out into the forest and having a bath in the forest energy. And they've actually done scientific studies around this, so it isn't just this like woo-woo thing. No, this is legitimate science where they've been able to show a lowered heart rate and blood pressure, reduced stress hormone, increased immune system, and all of this has been confirmed through science. And it just feels amazing when you really get out into an old growth, especially forest. You just feel like you're in the presence of something very powerful because you are. The ocean. Since I've taken up surfing seriously over the past 5 years or so now, did it a bit before that, but really made it a life goal in the last few years. I feel like that's become part of my makeup. Like I need to be in the ocean regularly now that my body has come to look at it as some kind of nourishment and nutrient. So we know that salt water and the ocean are this amazing auric and energetic cleanse. Salt water has healing properties, and then you've got sound therapy, like the actual sound of the waves in the ocean as a cleanse to reset your mind. We talk about the power and the beauty of the sound of the ocean all the time. Clean, high quality food. Food that energizes you instead of makes you sluggish. So does food give you energy or does it make you want to have a nap? I'm all about the organic, clean, chemical-free, non-GMO. I keep that out of my system 100%. And it's actually really hard to get these days. To get fully clean, clear, non-tampered with food, it takes a lot of effort. But I put in the effort and I work very hard to make sure that everything that goes into my body is clear and clean. Meditation. I've had a daily meditation practice now for 30 years, I guess. And I get high through consciously altering my state of awareness and being able to move my consciousness into different dimensions through my intention. So this is all about being intentional and creating your life, really tuning into the power of your imagination, of you as soul inhabiting a physical body and making your reality reflect your highest dreams and ideals. And the way that we do that is we get clear on it and go inward to find our actual deepest truth. And I haven't used drugs and alcohol in nearly about almost the same amount of time, nearly 30 years now, or maybe it's 25 years. And I get high off of so many other things, like everything else that's listed in this video is how I get high. Plants and herbs as medicine. So the big thing right now in North America, especially the US, is celery juice. So Anthony Williams, the medical medium, he talks a lot about the power of celery juice. So juicing celery, drinking it in the morning before you eat any other food. On an empty stomach for 15 minutes, you wait, and then you eat whatever else. And he cites its healing properties for everything from long-ranging viruses and bacterial infections, people who've had psoriasis for like 20 years and they drink celery juice for a week and it goes away. So if you go to his Instagram, medical medium, and then also celery juice benefits, I'll put those links below the video, you can see for yourself all of the amazing results. And he is all about just using plants and herbs as medicine, and I am 100% on board with this. These have been my primary healing modalities for the last 30 years. And there's an incredible clip with him and Sylvester Stallone and Miranda Kerr talking about their journey using celery juice. I was making a joke with a friend of mine that we need to buy stock, haha, S-T-A-L-K, in celery juice, because after I think even Kim Kardashian came out and talked about it. And after that, you couldn't buy celery in LA. It was like this rare, it was almost like trying to score dope back in the day. Now that marijuana is legal, like celery is gonna become this hot, come on, could you get me some celery? I really need some celery. I'll pay like $50 for a head of celery. Like there's gonna be this like drug smuggling economy of celery juice because it's such a powerful, powerful thing. And sometimes people go after him or other natural remedies and go, well, there's no science behind it. Let's get really clear here, okay? What is science? Science is when a body or someone has funded studies to be done to investigate the efficacy of something. Like who cares about funding celery juice? Nobody. And so if you're saying there's no scientific research behind celery, who fucking cares? Like go to his Instagram, go to these other Instagrams and see the truth for yourselves. Try it yourself. Remember, the people who fund studies have a vested interest in the results. So nobody who, say, a pharmaceutical producer is gonna fund a study on a non-patentable thing like herbs or food to see what its healing benefits are. Are you kidding? There's no money in that. The reason we have pharmaceuticals is because they are patented and they can make that much more money off of them, even though they're often direct replications of the molecular structure that we find in plants and other things in nature. So anyway, go and check that out. But I think it's really funny, especially these days, when we use the word doctor to say that we've doctored the results of something, as though doctoring actually means to cheat and not to heal. Introspection and radical self-honesty. Self-delusion leads to most health problems. The thing that you deny and that you try to hide and you stuff away in yourself, and the thing that this is, it's real and it grows into something that you have tried to forget about. So it becomes a cyst or some kind of massive malevolent tissue. All the things in yourself that you haven't looked at, they exist still in your body. And so the healing balm is to go deep inside of yourself and go demon hunting and find the places where you've been dishonest, you haven't dealt with things, you've tried to sweep them under the carpet. They don't go anywhere. The body does not lie. You may have heard of Anita Moorjani, and she has a book called Dying to Be Me. And she tells the story of how she had this 4-year struggle with cancer, and then she died, or she left her body consciously in the hospital one night or day. And then she had the insight in this other plane of existence of all the ways that she betrayed herself over the years, and this is what had created this cancer. And then she returned to her body, and the cancer was completely gone, spontaneously just disappeared. And she attributes this to finally seeing and really understanding on a deep level the truth about herself and having this internal change take place. And that's what created her healing. Unplug, spend time off the grid. So me, I try to get on a surf boat several times out of the year, or go off into the Tasmanian rainforest for days and weeks at a time with no phone and no internet contact. And I do this several times throughout the year. With the onset of 5G, we have this whole other issue. There's a lot of people in alternative health circles talking about how 5G is going to create even more instances of cancer and sterility, fertility issues in people, because we're being bombarded by these really high levels of electromagnetic radiation. And now with the coming of 5G, we can look forward to an even more sterile and cancer-ridden population. Oh wait, we already have that, but now it'll get worse. Here are some stats for you. The average American checks their phone 150 times a day. Most people spend 10 hours every day in front of a digital screen, whether it's their computer, a tablet, phone, video game console, television. For millions of people, the very first thing that you grab every morning is not your partner's cock or their vagina, it's your phone. So I would say that the time has come to consciously minimize that time and take longer chunks of time where we are away from these things and give our bodies a break. Crystals. You can heal energetic, emotional, psychological issues, clear energy patterns and neural pathways, and even, it is thought, heal physical issues with crystals. So you can use certain crystals, like black tourmaline is known to create EMF protection. So if you have a lot of devices around you, have a big chunk of black tourmaline, it's actually quite inexpensive. You can get a big, beautiful chunk. Even a smaller chunk will be fine, but I just think it's so imposing in a beautiful way to have a large piece of it with you. And I guess technically this particular thing isn't free, but it's not a machine and it's not very expensive. Exercise. So whether it's exercise or otherwise, I spend a lot of time being active. And here's a photo of my surfing shoulders. This is me, age 47, surfing. I just gotten back to Bali after a while, so I was in the water like every day, 2 hours a day for 3 weeks. And then someone took a photo of me on this swing, and I was like, oh my God, like, look at my shoulders. I had no idea. I just love surfing. So I spend probably time every single day doing some kind of exercise, whether it's weights, Pilates, surfing, running, swimming. I love to be active, and I love it for the mental, emotional clarity and refreshment and brilliance that I think it gives me. And then the side bonus is that it keeps you looking rockin' fit. So here's your new to-do list. Try meditating first thing in the morning before you get up or before you go to bed. Try a blowjob when you wake up in the morning. Exercise before noon or even 10 a.m. This is when your growth hormone is the highest, and you ride this natural wave if you exercise before that time. Plan weekend hikes, even better if you can do them barefoot. Get your vitamin D every day, 20 minutes of pure, unfiltered exposure in the summer months between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. And you gradually build up your exposure every day. Have days or hours or evenings or weekends of no phone time. Check out Medical Medium's Instagram, his books, and the Celery Juice Benefits Insta page as well, and buy stock in celery. Ha ha ha. Let me know how it goes. Tell me in the comments if you do these things already, and if so, what have you noticed? And if you don't, what are you keen to try? And whatever else you add to your list of things that you think are amazing for up-leveling your health, and they're free and easy to access. For more bodacious life, love, and orgasmic enlightenment, subscribe.